Hello, I'm Sarah Jane Critchley, author of A Different Joy, The Parent's Guide to Living Better with Autism, Dyslexia, ADHD and more. I've got a really exciting announcement for you today. But before we get there, I wanted to know if you've ever had this happen. Have you ever been at nursery and all of a sudden the nursery teacher comes up to you and says, I'm a bit worried about your child because they're not playing with the other children, and when I ask them to sit down on the carpet and do this, they don't pay any attention to me. They just carry on and play with the toys that they've got, or they won't share what they've got, or they just don't seem to be responding when I call their name. And I think you should have their hearing checked. Have you ever been in the position where you've watched your child playing and you notice that they're not with everybody else, they're not playing with everybody else, they're not playing the football game, they're walking around the edges of the playground, or they always seem to be on the outside of any friendship group there. They're sort of maybe looking at what's happening, but just not engaged with it, not part of the group, not joining in. Or maybe they're just on their own and completely separate to everyone else. Have you ever had that experience of sitting in a parent consultation, parents' evening, and you're just having that conversation about behaviour and how your child has behaved again and again and again? And what the teacher isn't telling you is how well they're doing, or where they're performing really well, or what they're struggling with and what they're finding easy and how they're helping them. All they're talking about is they didn't engage, or they didn't complete their homework, or they didn't turn up at the right time, or they left half of their kit at home, or they never seem to have the right things in the right place. Any of those issues. Well, yep, that was certainly me. I've had all those experiences and more. So my name's Sarah Jane Critchley. I come from what we euphemistically call a neurodiverse family, which means that we have a number of different conditions, and we don't present in the same way as everybody else. We don't look the same as everybody else in terms of how we behave and how we interact with the world. How we see it and how we experience it can be quite different. And we've had a whole host of different diagnoses over the years. I sometimes joke and say, well, we could play disability bingo, because we've probably got most of them somewhere. So we've got autism in the family, dyslexia, ADHD, dyspraxia. We've also got developmental conditions. We've got schizophrenia. We've got all sorts of lovely issues, depression, anxiety, panic attacks, as well as physical things like migraines and a whole host of things. Anyway, you name it, we've got most of it. Not all of it. I don't claim to say we've got all of it, but we've got a hell of a lot. I've got 2 children on the spectrum, both of whom are now teenagers, and I'm also married to a man who now owns his autism, and a grandmother who says that she's also autistic. And we can see it in our families. We can see that our families are different, they respond in different ways. And for us, that was just normal. That was normal. That's our version of normal. This is normal to us. But when they get to school, you find that there are all sorts of difficulties, and services don't necessarily understand, particularly if you're fortunate enough for your young person to be able to speak and be eloquent in the way that they come across. Then that can make it quite difficult to access services. It's also difficult if your young person doesn't talk, and understanding how that works can be really tricky. Even if they're able to speak, sometimes we can't express ourselves. When I get really anxious, I lose my words. That's really inconvenient, frankly. And if you imagine you're a young person and you don't know how to manage a relationship with a teacher, you can't go to them and say what to do. So I've had those experiences. I have been where you are right now. This is my girl. She's an absolute princess. This is one of her favourite photos. I got her permission to share these with you. She was accused of being away with the fairies. She's a dreamy, wonderful, inventive person. This is my boy, who's, amongst lots of other things, he's also dyslexic and doesn't write. When he was very tiny, the TA, his lovely teacher, sorry, not his TA in primary school, had this wonderful exercise where they talked about fireworks and how amazing the lights were and how the colours went over the sky. And she said they were talking about this in his teaching group, and he said, oh, the sky was incandescent with light. And then they got them to write it all down, and she showed me his work, and it said, fireworks, go, bang, full stop. That was it. So didn't write. And oh, look, what's he doing there? He's writing. Look, he's writing. Why is he writing? Because he's passionate about what he's doing. This is his quote. It's not shorthand for stupid. Dyslexic is not shorthand for stupid, and neither is autistic, and neither is having ADHD. So we really have to rethink how we approach these things. One of the things that happened to us is that we experienced difficulty after difficulty after difficulty, and it became really difficult to know where to go next and what to do next. And it felt like every time we found one solution it was wrong, and found another thing it was wrong. We just didn't know where to turn, and it was really difficult to unpack what the issues were and find out what they were and find out how to help. I've had that experience, and I want to share the experience that I've had with you through the book and through what I'm about to share with you. So I'm really hoping that you're interested. As part of that, the first thing I did, because I trained as a librarian many years ago, so the first thing I did was hit the research. So I hit the research, I did my investigation, I attended conferences, I've attended courses. You know, if somebody offered me a parenting course, I'm sure some of you will have been offered parenting courses, you went, I don't think so. How many parenting courses have you done? How many courses have you done as a professional? Anyway, I've done just about every course you could lay your hands on in the worlds of autism and special needs and girls and ADHD and you name it. I've done a lot, and I want to share them with you. I want to give you a sense that the world can get better for you, that the struggles that you're having, I've been there, I've had them. They don't have to be what defines your life or what defines the life of your children. You can be successful. This is my lovely girl, she's approved this one too. And she says here, I dropped out of school so I could pass my A-levels. She was so ill with anxiety and unsupported autism and the school unable to accommodate her needs that she was unable to attend at all. She spent most of the first year out of school altogether as we were trying to get her through an education, health and care plan. That was an incredibly difficult process because she's verbal, she's very eloquent, but not when she's really struggling. And we had to work out how to manage that system. We had to work out how to campaign for what she needed. We had to work out how far to help the school to provide for her and what to do when that went wrong. So she fell out of school and she's now got an A-level and she's doing an access to higher education course and she wants to go to university. She's delightful. She's now, 3 years later, back in a full-time educational establishment for the first time and she's loving it. It's wonderful. Would I have imagined that 3 years ago? No. I want to share with you how to manage that sort of process. She also has her own online shop through Redbubble. She's got products that she's selling because she developed these amazing diagrams, these amazing illustrations, which are all in the book, Different Joy, which you can see if you have a copy. And they're delightful. They're available on bags. Sorry, let me just grab a bag. Oh! They're available on bags, like this one. Ta-da! I've got them on travel mugs, all sorts of things. It's a line of income for her. Success does not have to be the way that everybody else thinks it might be. I've got things to share and ideas to help you unpack what that might be for your young person. And when all's said and done, what we want most for our children is to be happy. We want them to be able to have relationships. These are both of mine together, enjoying each other's company, bonding in a way I would never have thought would be possible or practical or that they'd want to. And actually, it's one of the real joys of my life. I am so proud of both of them. All we ever want as parents, really, is to turn out children who are happy and stable and able to function, isn't it? So I know that I have tools that can help you. So let's see. So what would you get? What I'm going to sell, I'm going to offer to you is membership of the Different Joy Academy. This is a brand new thing, so you can be a founder member. And what you would get for that membership is an hour of video training monthly with me. This will be the first time that anybody's been able to do that and have that at all as a regular monthly thing. The topics that I choose will be ones that are directly relevant to you, and we will work together to find the ones that meet your needs most. That's what I spent my entire life doing. That's what I'm going to do here. I'll also give you an MP3 version of the video, so that if you happen to be around the house, you're in the car, you want to hear bits of it when you're out and about, you can do that. You do it when it's convenient to you, in the way that you want to do it. You don't have to go anywhere to get it. It's not going to cost you a huge amount to get there. And the travel to learn is zero. We like that. You'll also have membership of the Different Joy Academy private Facebook groups. That'll be just for people who are members of this. Only a very select group of us are going to be part of that, and we will share our expertise. You can post questions in there and I will answer them and provide the best possible resources that I can find. You get to post your questions on the group after the training, so then we can answer them. And if then others of you have really good ideas, share them. Nobody has all of the answers, but we certainly have really good expertise between us. And what I'm going to do as part of this is I'll post suggestions and links for things that will really help you. So I want to give you the access to my expertise and to solve the issues that you currently have right now, not ones that somebody else might have thought of on a training course. I want this to be vibrant. I want this to be something where you get the questions answered that you need, and that you can have it on a monthly basis, because God knows the issues that we have change over time, don't they? You know, the problems that you have now aren't the problems you had 2 years ago. They're different. So you need something that's actually going to come with you and change and grow in response to what you need, and that's what I'm planning to provide for you. And this is an opportunity to network and to share support with other members of the group. Because one of the things we know, particularly about children with special needs, and especially those with autism, is that every single person is different. So what works for one person might not work for another, which is why it's really important that you don't just have one answer, you have 2 or 3 or 4 or 5, because you need different varieties, you need different variations to be able to get something that's going to work for you. So, as if that wasn't enough, I'm going to offer you 3 lovely bonuses to go with it. So, for the first time ever, I'm going to offer you a copy of the PDF of The Different Joy, which will be electronically available to you, and that comes free of charge. It will cost you nothing as a member of the Different Joy Academy. To go with that bonus, to make it easier for you, I'm also offering the roadmap and the blueprint, and that actually goes through each of the chapters, and it identifies the things that you'll need to think about at each stage of your life and of your child's life. What are the issues that you need to face where you are right now, whatever that may be, whether it's just discovering your diagnosis for the first time, or whether it's when they're first going to school, or whether it's how to cope with other members of the family and their responses to diagnosis, or whether it's how to choose the right school for your child and how to cope if it's not working, whether it's because your child's being bullied, how to deal with that, what the issues are and how you might respond, how to cope with competitive parenting and how to manage your own reaction to the issues that you're facing, and how to be sane-ish and okay whilst all that's happening, and how to be able to model and develop the sort of resilience in your child that means that when you are no longer around, they will still be okay. How important is that? Because right now, I bet your bottom dollar that your children are so dependent on you that if you suddenly don't feel well or you're ill, things get worse for them. We have to build resilience in our children so that they have the coping skills and the mechanisms and the understanding and the perspective and the confidence and the self-esteem and the faith in themselves and their abilities to be able to take on the challenges that they face, because they will have them. We can't make life straightforward and easy and simple for them. It's not going to happen. They're going to have challenges just the same as you have and I have and your friends and family have. So how can we help them to do that better? Because one of the biggest crises we have right now is in mental health, and we have to stem the tide by building capability and competence and resilience and esteem in those we love so that they can be better and healthier and less at risk. So those are 3 bonuses. Sorry, I didn't mean to kind of go off on one. And why should you think that I'm worth doing this for? So why should you believe in what I have to tell you? Don't take my word for it. People like Claire Thompson have, I'm sorry, I will read that for you because it's actually quite hard for you to read from the distance you are. She says, Sarah Jane is a fantastic speaker and has a wealth of no-nonsense advice and practical strategies gained from her experience, both as a professional and as a parent. Her refreshing take on negotiating the system and finding a pathway through that celebrates difference and diversity was fascinating for both parents and professionals alike. And she's the head of Specialist Services and Safeguarding for Babcock, LDP. And the other one that I've got here for you is Sarah Jane's in-depth knowledge of education, autism and ADHD, combined with her personal experience, make her an engaging presenter who's brilliant at keeping interest and energy in the room. And I hope you're feeling that right now. And that's Lynn Laverty, who's the Director of Autism Services at the Centre for Autism and ADHD Support. It might be ADHD and Autism Support the other way around, sorry. Sorry, Lynn, I'll get that right next time. And there's some praise for the book as well. There's lots and lots of different reviews. One's here from Tony Atwood, who's the author of The Complete Guide to Asperger's Syndrome. From Claire Henschel, an Autism Outreach Coordinator in Brent, from Anita Cohen-Nye, the Director of Not Dead Fish and London Leadership Strategy, and from Hetta Lumsden, a Home Start volunteer, who all say that the book has been incredibly helpful for them and is a really good resource for you. So you're going to get that free of charge as a bonus, okay? I've also worked with a number of different organisations. I spent 10 years managing the Autism Education Trust, where I helped develop training for teachers and people working in education, so I understand the professional side of that really well. And the training that we developed has helped over 180,000 people since 2012. Before you scream at me and say, but my child's school is not good at doing that, I know we didn't get to all of the schools in England by any means, and it is a huge job to do. So a lot of the responsibility ends up with the professionals who are willing to engage. If that's you, thank you. I adore you for being here, and the parents who are supporting their children, and you are doing the most incredibly difficult job. Keep going, you're fantastic. Just to give you an idea of the sort of companies and organisations I've worked for. Now, I know signing up for a membership can be scary, thinking, oh, what if I don't like it? What if it isn't what I want? What if I can't bear the scarves that she wears, or I'm sick to death of her voice? What do I do? Then the things you need to think about, sorry, bear with me a second. The things you need to think about are, is there a guarantee? And the answer is yes. I absolutely believe that I can help you make your life better for your young person. I am guaranteeing that you will like what you get. If you don't like what you get in the first 30 days, by all means ask me for a refund. You'll get the whole of your money back with no question asked. And this is an ongoing membership program, so you can cancel at any time. You are not held to any period, okay? I want you to love it. I want you to engage with it. I want it to make a difference in your children's lives. And I want us together to make a huge difference. Okay? Now, I know you may still be sitting on the fence. You may be concerned. You may think, well, I just don't know. I don't know really. Can I just throw in a couple of little extra bonuses that might just make the difference for you? First thing is I want to give you a copy of my Good Day Guide. Now this is a guide to help other people understand your children, because one of the biggest issues we have is getting other people to know what makes the difference for them. It's really useful for you to go through. It's just one page, okay, with a full set of instructions on the back, so it's not overwhelming to complete. It's really easy. But what that'll do is that'll help your child or your young person to have a much better day. The second tool I'm going to give you, download free of charge, which costs you nothing, is an emotional distress detective toolkit. I know that when I was applying for an education, health and care plan, I needed good evidence. One of the biggest issues we have as parents is not being taken seriously about the issues that our children are having. When you actually monitor and measure on a regular basis, you get evidence, you get ammunition, and you get proof to take into school, to discuss with them, and to argue for the support that your child needs, or to be able to show to the local authority as part of your campaign for an education, health and care plan if your young person needs one. And so many of our young people do. I had a refusal to assess twice, and then our local authority tried to issue a plan that wasn't an education, health and care plan, and I ended up having to try and take them to tribunal. In the end, they backed down. They backed down because I had the evidence, because I knew what had to go in, and I can help you to put that together too. So we will be working through these sort of issues, we'll be working through these sort of ideas, we'll be starting from basic principles about what you need to do first and what you need to do next. That's another free bonus just for you, okay? So, let me just sum up what you get for your membership. And this is for a really reasonable cost. I don't want to charge you a lot. I want to get this into the hands of as many people as possible. So I'm only going to charge you £14.99. The book is retailing for £13.99 on its own. None of the other resources are available outside of the book, okay? And in order to get access to my 10 years of expertise, the work I've done with other organisations, the work I've done with the Autism Education Trust, the ability to develop and describe and create tools that make a real difference, isn't available anywhere else. Nowhere else can tap into my particular brand of skills and expertise. This is the one place you can get it, and you can get it for £14.99 a month. So for that price, you will get the book electronically. So you can just dip into the bit that you want and dip out, and it gives you full access to all the references. You will get the blueprint, which will take you through and find out and give you support where you are right now, that I've already put into the book, because I know that's what you need. It's what I needed when I was in your position. It's what you need now. And then a roadmap to take you through and describe that to you, because just in case you don't want to think about the whole book and you think, well, I don't know which section I need and I'm not sure what's covered where, I've got a film, an MP4 film. You will get the Different Joy roadmap, which will walk you through that and help you to discover which one of those things you need right now. Pick a different thing next time. You will also get the Good Day Guide, free for you to download and use with the people who support your child, help you to manage them better and help other people to support you better, and the Emotional Distress Detective Toolkit, which in my view is one of the best tools that you can get to provide evidence for the support that your young person needs and to be taken seriously. So I really, really hope that has been enough to convince you that what you need to do is to sign up right now. I can't wait to be able to start working with you. The minute you sign up below, you'll be taken through to a payment page, you'll get an acknowledgement, and then you'll be taken straight through to the first month's lesson, okay? The first month's online training. So you will get that straight away and you'll be able to use it whenever, wherever you like. You won't have to go out to any courses, you won't have to travel, you don't have to leave your children behind, you don't have to worry about childcare, none of that. I've taken all of that from you. I'm distilling down the information, the knowledge that I have, and I'm giving it to you monthly. So come along, can't wait to see you in the Different Joy Academy, because together we can learn better and I want better for you. Until then, can't wait to see you on the other side. Take care and I'll speak to you soon. Lots of love.